Okay, I'm impatient. I want to get started because I have a Dreadnought to paint, and I think it's so cute. Okay, so a few things. I guess the first one is there should be no music. I've got copyright strikes on the past 2 times that I have streamed, and I'm not sure why, because my music was supposed to be like copyright infringement free or whatever. So no more music. But I mean, the upside to that is then you can listen to whatever it is that you want to listen to. So I've actually been watching a few streams on Twitch and been actually really appreciating the no music streams. So we're gonna try it today. You all can let me know what you feel about the no music stream, and then we can kind of go from there. But this is also kind of troubleshooting where that copyright infringement is coming from. I'm still a little bit sick as well, so as you can tell, I am not really doing anything about this face. I'm gonna try my best to like not cough into the microphone or like have sniffles and stuff. So I might be muting myself more often than I normally do, and I might sound funny, but I mean I usually have allergies when I stream, so y'all are used to that. Um Also not sure if my pop out chat is working. So if you can hear this, yeah, just type me something and let me know if the pop out chat is working. Um, because I just did like a bunch of updates and nothing seems to seems to be working right now. So, um, if y'all could do that, that would be great. Um, and yeah, so let's get into the task at hand here. So this is where we got to last week. We had base coated and washed and dry brushed the metallics to give us our little base there. And then I went through and I base coated like all the armor panels, and I wanted to be blue, and I didn't wash it because we're doing an experiment on this one to see if I even need the wash. Um, and then now I'm gonna go through with this mecha color, which is like the main color of the armor. Are you all here? Like the main color of the armor that we're gonna be aiming for. There we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then sort of determine if I want to glaze or if I want to wet blend. Because I've never actually wet blended with this mecha color before. It's got a different medium on it because it's actually made for like Gundams. So I'm not sure if it will wet blend, but we're gonna try it. We're gonna try both ways and see which is faster. So sorry for starting early. I was just like really impatient, and I'm just sitting here, like twiddling my thumbs, thinking like what am I doing? Like let's just get started. Everybody can filter in after. Oh no. Good. I was like, oh no, I think that my mecha color, Dark Titan Blue, is clogged, but it's not. You can also tell like it's got a different medium just by the way that it kind of like clogs up on the threads of this. It's like very glossy. It's like rubbery almost. It's really interesting. Okay, I got new brushes. They're the same brushes that I always use. They're just not ratched because I finished my Iron Blasters finally, but I used my last brushes to do the basing, and that like always ruins everything. I step away for a minute, and a wild Tanya appears. Hey Jeff, how's it going? Yeah, I started a little bit early today because I was like, just wanting to get started. Okay. So I really love this color. This is like the color that I was searching for forever for like my Space Wolves, and I haven't really found like a perfect dupe for it. Just because I do sometimes struggle with this medium, but do our best. Like, I know I normally use a bigger brush, but there's a lot of like little nooks and crannies and things that I need to work around here, so little one to start. All right, listen. Showing up late when someone is early is unfair. Uh, I like the darker base color. Yeah, cause like normally I would do that. Like I would struggle through this color that I'm painting now, and then wash it, and then put this back on. I was like, well, maybe I can struggle less. So I'm gonna try and struggle less. And I think I am gonna try and wet blend some of the panels. And just see how it goes with this paint. I was here and connected and just stepped away to gather some stuff to paint and came back and poof, I know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's like, so I went to Vegas and there was no painting, right? Like, no painting for almost a week. That was weird. Almost wanted to just, like, pop in to one of the painting classes and be like, okay, y'all just let me, like, touch a paintbrush to a miniature. Is that doable? That. But I was super busy, so kept me out of trouble anyway. Little Dreadnought toes. Hey, Eisenhorn. Love your orcs. Aw, thank you. Yeah, I was thinking if I can do my main goal for the year, which is paint through all of my Warhammer Age of Sigmar models, that maybe I would do another big orc push for. Well, I mean, it'll probably be Orktober by the time that happens, because now I also have some Infinity models to paint. I don't have a problem. I could quit whenever I want. Nerds don't touch grass, we touch paintbrushes. It's true, there's no grass in Vegas anyway, even if I did want to touch some. Although it has been nice to be home and, well, I mean, the past couple days I've been able to like get outside and go for walks again, but I got the con crud while I was there, so as you can hear. It's just been like resting and trying to make sure that I'm actually taking care of myself. It's funny because like when you're in Vegas, like you don't normally sleep that well because like, well, at least for me, because I come from a small town and it's relatively quiet here, and then you get to Vegas and like there's always sirens, there's always planes going off, there's always noise everywhere, and it's like, well, all right then, guess I'm not really sleeping, am I? Although I did cave and eventually put on my earbuds, like my earplugs. But yeah, it's like long days. Very long days. And then, like, of course, so you do the long days on the stream team, and although the first couple days I didn't do stream team stuff, I did other stuff I wasn't really prepared to do. But that was necessary to do. So, and then you want to talk to your friends and stuff, like you want to do some socializing, so not much. Real question time. Did you paint your nails in honor of the World Eaters release? No! There's a heart on it and there's some pink. It's for Valentine's Day, you. Maybe I love World Eaters. I don't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mark. I'm sorry, Ryan. I don't love World Eaters. You know, the other legions need love too. What? There are other legions. Mr. Emperor's Children. I know, you're just like a Chaos super fan. Julio here from LVO. Oh, hi. Definitely going to be using your painting techniques on my unpainted space wolves. Well, this is a bit of an experiment, so I don't maybe wait and see what it looks like at the end. Um, and see if you like it. Cause it's a bit of a it is gonna be a bit of a slog. I'm not gonna lie. Like, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? In fact, I'm gonna do one leg, and then we'll see if we can actually do some wet blending with this paint. I have a feeling it's not gonna work that great, but we never know until we try. Sometimes you just gotta experiment and see how it goes. How was the rest of your LVO experience? Well, I loved seeing all of your pictures. It was really great. Did you end up getting the con crud too? I ended up getting it kind of bad, but most of the people on the stream team were okay, but a few of us ended up getting this cold. Hey Jude, how's it going? What's your favorite faction to paint? Probably orcs or ogres, like the big chonky dudes with lots of skin. That's kind of my thing. I think that's the most fun for me. So the lighter color that I'm gonna go with on this wet blend, hopefully, if we can wet blend, is field blue, which is kind of like it's like a lighter blue-gray. So, I figure it's probably easier to just start down here and see how we go. So I don't think I'm gonna wet blend everything, but see these big panels here? These are gonna need some sort of blending, whether that end up being wet blending, we'll see, or if it ends up being glazing, we're gonna have to do something. So we'll see how it goes here. I love World Eaters because kill main bird. Yeah, all that stuff. 8 fingers in red. Oh my god, there are 8 fingers in red. No, there's not. No, there's not. There's 7. I'm sorry. Sorry. Um, GSC. Okay, GSC is really fun to paint. I do end up painting like the odd model here and there, for a friend. Warmister can have the two pink fingers. There's actually three. There's three. That's Mr. Chute. I'm 18 now. Hey, welcome to adulthood. Yeah, try to put that shit off a little bit more. You know, that's my advice to you. Watching this while playing Pokemon Scarlet. You also play anything or just tabletop stuff? I I mostly just play tabletop stuff. I enjoy like all the aspects of tabletop. So, also video games at one point were like sucking my entire life out of me, and so yeah, I had to like quit. That was a time. Let me tell you, that was a time. I am really gonna try hard to like not be a sickly mess for you. Might have to do a mute here in a second. So what do we think of that color? It's like really subtle because then I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna edge highlight and I'm gonna mix a 1-to-1 of that field blue with this bright neutral gray. You know, like those people who are like really good at wet blending. I'm not one of those people. But I also don't care about getting like the perfect blends either, so I'm just more so going for like the idea of this. So I don't want to be here like all freaking day, so it's gonna. How was your LVO? It was really good. I had like a couple meltdowns because I'm like just not used to that many people. Um, but it was just really eye opening to see one, how many friends that I actually had there. So like even in a sea of like 1,000 people, like there are people who still care for me there. But also just like overwhelmed by the kindness of complete strangers as well. So it was good for me to experience like the community out in the real world. I think sometimes when you kind of exist only in online spaces, you think that all those people that give you such a hard time, you start to think like, oh, well maybe those people are like the wider community, you know? Um and so I think it was really good for me to experience like the normal people. in the community, like the less angry ones. And it was so fun. Nick and I played doubles. I saw that. Super fun game. Then I went to dinner with the Play On crew and Creature Caster guys. Super fun trip. Yeah, the Creature Caster guys are awesome too. One of my like favorite fun games ever was against Simon. I mean, we didn't even get past like turn 3 because we're just being like dorks the entire time, but 7 Papa Nurgle loves us all. That he does. Can't really put it off for much longer. My birthday happened last month on January 13th. Yes, it happened on a Friday. Literally in my Discord, we were just talking about how great Friday the 13th is. God help us all if I'm the quote, more normal people. I mean, normal's relative, right, Mark? And hanging out with you guys too is nice because, like, I had just traveled all day and, like, sort of overwhelmed by the noise that is Vegas. And it was just really nice to have like a nice chill hangout with you guys. Thank you for that. Okay. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix up this color that I want to do the edge highlight and just to like show you what it looks like, and then we can make the decision if we're gonna like wet blend everything. So it's gonna be a 1-to-1. One. It looks very blue. Yeah, so the undercoat here is blue, and then this is kind of like what we're going to be going for, which is like more of a steely dark gray blue. One of these days I want to make it to LVO. It was really fun, and yeah, it was really nice to again get to spend time with my Play On family. Hear some of their plans that they have for the year, and yeah, that was really nice. Let's put a little more of this field blue. Still looks like it's too much. Try that. Hey, Vanguard Wargaming, how's it going? Things are good. What was the furthest someone traveled to get to LVO that you heard of, Matt, when you were there? Adam Camilleri came from Melbourne, and there was a group of folks from New Zealand that were there. But there's like legitimately people from all over the world there. So, hard to say who traveled like the longest, but definitely there were some Kiwis. So it's a bit too much. Lots of people from Europe. Like the entire Vanguard Tactics team was there basically, which is pretty cool. This edge highlight's still too bright. Still too bright. It's probably gonna have to be like a 2-to-1 field blue. My brother gave me a chunk of his Marines as a present, making them Blood Angels amazing. I think Blood Angels would be actually pretty fun to paint. I'm not like the most well versed on red, but I think that they'd be like a fun project. Which reminds me, I still need to change my YouTube name. I'm just making them Blood Angels. I know, I read them that way. I read it that way. I got you. This is actually kind of nice that I get to like listen to my music now. For people who weren't here at the beginning, I got copyright striked for the past 2 live streams, even though I was listening to music that the artist said was okay to stream. So we're just gonna have no music. I still think that that is too bright of an edge highlight. I'm gonna remix this color. Whoops! I'm gonna remix this color. Let's do. Try that. I'm not like trying to go for like heavy metal here with like the crazy bright edge highlights. My girl Chick paints. She does that like crazy bright edge highlight. And I don't want it to seem like I'm like ripping on her style or anything, you know. Still looks so bright. Heck. Okay. Let's just try this then. Let's try this. Huh. That's better. And that is just straight up field blue. Interesting. Well, I guess that's what we're gonna do. It's just edge highlight with 100% field blue because that sort of I don't know, that like subtle look I think just looks better to me. Eventually, when I can buy my own stuff, I'll dabble around with Chaos Marines. Probably gonna do Black Legion as an undivided. Nice. I actually like Black Legion. And World Eaters. Very nice. The heavy metal style does seem to go a bit overboard sometimes with brightness. Yeah. I mean, so that style exists because it's made to show off the details of the model. Like it's not it doesn't exist for like anything else. It's a very utilitarian paint style. And I think it's really funny when people like hate on the heavy metal style because it's literally there for marketing, really. Like demonstration purposes. Cuz there's like a part of the painting community that just really hates heavy metal style. I find it really interesting. Okay, I'm gonna repaint this toe. We're gonna repaint it and try it with just field blue as the edge highlight and see how that goes. Because I do like it on that big flat panel. Kind of makes it look cold. What does the edge highlight? Heavy metal got me thinking of Miniac doing his drunk mini painting challenge with Ninja. They've done a couple of those, I think, actually. I'm like losing my voice again. Okay. Let's try again here. I'm gonna let that other toe dry in the meantime. I have a hair. And that's the thing with having a husky. Like, you have dog hair everywhere. Got it. I think the pinnacle example of where it falls short is look up how the GW team paints Crimson Fists. Base of a dark Cantor blue, then just super bright highlights. Yeah, again, like, it's to sort of show off the details more than anything. I think that I don't know if people just hate on it because they think, like, they have to paint, like, the box art or whatever. Not sure. All kind of interesting, though. The cool thing about painting this Dreadnought is, like, literally no matter what I do to it, it's gonna look better than when it came into this house. How would you describe the paint job on this guy, Ryan, when he came into the house? Craft paint, no primer.
Painted by...
I don't know. I think it was not a 6-year-old. It was probably a 26-year-old. It makes it look like frost has started to collect. Neat. Well, I don't hate that. Drunk mini painting is simply another way of saying we're a pair of fools descending into literal chaos. Yeah. Quite a lot of armies, I think it looks really good. Sometimes it goes a bit overboard. Yeah. I think, like anything, like there's Like, you can take from it what you like and then just leave the rest. Like, for me, I actually find edge highlighting like a very zen process. And I really enjoy doing it. So, just doing it with like a little bit less of a bright edge highlight, I think is cool. I'm also going to be putting like this guy has a lot of iconography that I'm probably going to have to be freehanding on this. So um I don't want to put too much detail into the armor panels because they're probably going to need to be painted over in some regard. Actually, freehanding scares me. I've only done it a couple of times. I'm definitely not an expert on it, but I mean, what better reason to learn how to do it than on a Dreadnought? And I believe that Bjorn's markings are pretty simple, if I remember right. So. Okay, that looks better, I think. So what do you think of that toe? That one right there. That looks a lot better, I think, than like the really bright edge highlights that I had on there before. Plus, like, if we actually look at our model, that is our like reference. His edge highlights are not super stark either, so I do want it to match this. So I think it's pretty close. That looks pretty close. I think I'm happy with that. So we will do just a little bit of wet blending, and it doesn't have to be anything super crazy. Continuing on. Here we go. Amazing how the colors just make the depth pop. Yeah, like these dreadnoughts. It's funny actually. So Duncan Rhodes and I had a really great chat about dreadnoughts, and I really like these boxy style dreadnoughts. I don't know, they're just not really like anything else that you've seen in terms of like walkers in other games. So we had a really great talk about this style of dreadnought. But the cool thing is, I actually don't think it takes much to make these look pretty cool. So yeah, I don't know. I think that this guy's going to be fun. And I think Like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be fun. It probably will end up taking me a little bit longer to finish this guy than I thought. But I don't know. Like maybe now that we've got now I know I'm gonna be wet blending, so maybe it'll go faster than I think. Yeah, I do enjoy these boxy dreadnoughts. I don't know why. I just think that they're just kind of cute. Like I know they're murder machines or whatever, but I think they're cool. Sorry I'm late. Oh, Rob, no problem. I'm just glad you made it. I'm glad you made it. That's way too much. So I find with wet blending, you almost want the paint like unthinned. Tends to, I don't know, it just tends to like work better if it's not thinned. I think it gives you like more time to work with it, honestly. Um okay, I'm back. Um Time to build my dreadnought. Yeah, Rob. Dreadnought party. I am still fighting the sickness, but I am a lot better than I was earlier in the week. I wish I could join the Dreadnought party, but no, I gotta paint for a tournament. Aw. Yeah, that's like the thing that I don't miss at all about going to tournaments is like just frantically always painting. It's been really nice to just take that break and just like paint whatever I want. I feel like I have enough stuff painted for a few different factions that if I did want to go back to do tournaments and whatnot, like I don't think I'd have the same like frantic painting. Build a Dreadnought focused army list. Yeah. And since we're on Dreadnoughts, I'm super stoked for the Brutalis. It does look pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. There are no Dreadnoughts in Infinity. My Salamander successors wait eagerly to add a clawed murder bot to the arsenal. Yes. What about the big Gundam looking duders? This particular tournament doesn't give me the option of building my own list. We choose our faction, and the TO generated 2 random lists for us, and that's what we get. That's really interesting, actually. That is kind of a weird tourney system. I don't hate it, though. It's pretty much impossible to build a list with more than 1 or 2 tags, and alas, my lists did not include any. Womp womp. Is that, like, common? That kind of tournament format? That's super interesting. And, like, are the lists built off archetypes? Like, how do they determine what's in the list? And, like, I would imagine it would have to be, like, kind of easier to get things. Super interesting. Like, from people who come from Warhammer, that just seems truly incredible. So yeah, I think like you can sort of tell from like the base coat here to what it's going to look like. It's going to lighten up quite a bit. No, I'm digging that. That's looking good. I like it. This is the first time I've ever seen it. Okay, interesting. So you got to let us know once you get back what it was like, cuz yeah, that is like so crazy. Is it like a big tournament too? Like, sorry, I'm just like super curious now. And like, is there a reason for this? Of minds want to know. I'm like very concentrating right now. Sorry, y'all. Neat format, but did you at least get to tell them the models you had available? Nope, you get to pick the faction, but Infinity has super generous proxy rules, so nobody's going to hold it against you. Oh, that's nice at least. I chose the faction I had that was most complete, though. That's pretty smart. 50 people. Wow! The Salem shit show. Amazing. He's doing it because it'll be hilariously goofy fun. Like, are the lists weird? Also, this is like what I want to know. Are the lists goofy? Do the lists make sense? Plenty of alcohol involved. Prizes are, I believe, for 6th, 17th, and second to last. Amazing. Some missions will have our opponents choose our lists. Some we might even swap with them. This is so intense. Uh, that's so funny. I'm actually finding it extremely hard to talk right now. The lists are totally randomly generated by a web app. Oh my goodness. That sounds actually incredibly fun. I wish there were more events where people took themselves less seriously. I'm not saying all of the events should be that way, because sometimes it's like fun to try. Um, yeah, I don't know. It sounds like it'll be a breath of fresh air, especially if you go to a lot of events. Interesting. It's going to be amazing. I honestly, like, I would love to hear about your experiences when you get back, because that does sound really fun. What do you think, Ryan? Should we try our first game of Code 1 today? Maybe? You're kind of in a painting mode right now, though. When the Warmistress gets painting, serious business. I actually don't know too many people who can paint more prolifically than my husband. And to like a good level. Like some people can paint real fast, but it doesn't look nice. Warmister over there has almost finished an entire Demon Prince today. And it's 11:46. I was just so happy yesterday. I finished an entire model from start to finish. I was like, go me. Go me. I'll be sure to tell all about it. I'll try to take photos and stuff if I could stay sober. If you take like blurry photos, then we'll just know that you're just having the best time ever. Imagine if there was an official 40k narrative tournament scene, influences the story, competitive tournament scene, and silly tournament scene. Silly things like what Jeff is doing. That would be awesome, honestly. Like, I would be into trying silly formats. I can get the hardware figured out and gather enough spoons, I might even make the inaugural episode of that podcast I keep telling myself I want to start. That's a pretty big if, though. Yeah. Podcasting, like, people don't even realize, like, okay, yeah, there's all, like, the technical stuff that goes into it, which, I mean, even if you do the bare minimum of editing, it's still going to be, like, 2 hours a week. But just, like, showing up every week is really hard for some people, you know? And I think not enough is said about that, like, how hard it is to just show up every week. I'd love to help influence a game's story. Um, yeah, so apparently that happens in Infinity, though. Yeah, I thought that the Infinity campaign said that. Yes, once a year or so, Corvus Belli runs a campaign like that. See, that would be really cool. Like, what a great way to get your community, like, engaged and invested in the IP. I think it's great. If only I lived near a population center so I could participate, but no one local wants to play. Yeah. Yeah, we just sort of lost our game store too, so hopefully we get a new one. I know that there are like talks in the works, but kind of sad to like lose your community hub. Why I just can't seem to get this highlight down. So I'm listening to Andrew WK right now. And I went down this Andrew WK rabbit hole. I know this is like out of the blue, but I went down this Andrew WK rabbit hole, and apparently he is like everything about him was crafted in like 1997 to be like the longest running performance art piece of all time. So if y'all want to like go down like an Andrew WK rabbit hole, like I got some links for you. You just send me a private message and then we could talk about it and like compare what we think is actually going on because it's like actually really fascinating. That blue looks so darn good. Well, thank you. Yeah, I think it'll be cool once it's done. It might take a while. It's funny, like the big panels are gonna be super easy, but all these like little ones, like on the toes and stuff, that's where it's gonna be taking the longest. That's okay. That's okay. I just wanted to show, because I'm gonna have to do some of this off stream, so I wanted to like show the whole process with like the blending and the highlights and stuff, so you just can kind of see, and then I can finish the rest of it off. It's also really hard to blend with a tiny brush, but we're trying our best. Your brush is almost pooched. I'm thinking about buying some Rosemary & Co. brushes to test them out. They're the ones that make those Artist Opus brushes that everybody seems to like. Obviously, I won't be buying the Artist Opus ones because they're outside of my price range. But Rosemary & Co. have some really interesting looking brushes. Like short stubby ones, but then also really long ones with like super fine points. So it all looks very interesting to me. There's a huge Infinity community that uses Tabletop Simulator. I like Tabletop Simulator. Corvus Belly fully endorses it. Really interesting. You would totally be able to submit bat reps for the campaign. That is so cool. Rob, we could play. GW powder blue gray is too right, and it just looks right. Gray but not gray, and also blue but not blue. Yeah, because like my original Space Wolves. Oh, blast from the past. My original Space Wolves were this. And I was like, that's cool and all. But like, how much cooler is that? You know? Oh, baby, I've come a long way. She's come a long way, y'all. She has come a long way. Inside of this tozy, little tozy wozy. Lots of like third party. Corvus Belly seems like they just want people to play the damn game. I know. I was thinking of basing my Urda Inquisition Space Wolf scheme on Rosie the Riveter, and then I realized her poster's three main colors are denim, blue, yellow, and red, and that's just Space Wolves. It's true. It's a good color scheme. It's a very classic color scheme. Yeah, when I was picking my colors, I wanted like a buttercream kind of yellow because I think that it looks really good against this kind of like darker slate kind of blue gray. And then because it's kind of, I don't want to say washed out, but it's like a little bit washed out. Um, then I wanted like a pretty saturated red. That's how I chose my new colors. I've had some decent luck with cheap brush sets on Amazon, particularly this 5 brush set by AIT Art. I've had great luck with just cheap brushes, and it's usually what I use. Like, the most expensive brush here is like $1.50. 5 cents. I think it's really funny that like most painters use watercolor brushes um, when doing their like acrylic painting like this, because it's so hard on your brushes. Um, but I mean, I guess if you're glazing and stuff, it kind of makes sense. But I've just always really liked um words and stuff. I really liked synthetic brushes because they have like a really nice snapback. Um, so and yeah, I don't like the idea of like creatures being in captivity just so I can have a brush. Yeah, yeah. I think a lot of times like the cost prohibitiveness of this hobby makes some people like just not get into it. And I don't like that. You could do really good work with like 25-cent brushes. You can even make craft paint work if that's all that you have access to. It's maybe not as easy to use, but you can for sure do it. Like this hobby is so out of reach. Like even buying new models for me, that's out of reach. Like I can't afford new models. Um so I've been doing like exclusively secondhand models all year with a few exceptions, a few gifts that the Warmistress has given me. Um but it's just so expensive. Like I don't even know how like new players can come into the hobby and like get a 2000 point army and then all the paints and everything and just it's insane right now. So I'm not actually wet blending too much on this inner bit because I'm gonna leave most of it that sort of shadowy blue color. That's what we doing. I'm having trouble picking up my brush for my next model. Dr. Fireaxe is winning the stare down. I have a bunch of sable brushes. I don't feel safe, comfortable using them. My wife got me some nice cheap brushes, and I like them so far. I really enjoy cheap brushes. And it's not just because they're cheap, but I just prefer the snappiness of them.
That's what I think.
Mhm.
Because you can get a few.
Yeah.
If you're into just painting.
Yeah, if you're into just painting, yeah, those D&D minis are awesome. Even if you're just getting started and like the Warhammer models are like super cost prohibitive for you, just pick up some D&D minis to practice on until you feel comfortable. I know a lot of people like the miniatures are expensive and like it makes them really nervous to just paint them as a beginner. I have a Winsor & Newton Series 7 that my boss gave me that I've never used. One of these days I'll try it, but for my level of skill and the paints I use, I generally prefer the cheapo stuff. You definitely have to take care of those sable brushes to make them last. So if you don't have brush cleaner, like I would hold off using it until you have brush cleaner. And you definitely need to clean them out a lot. So you're just going to be using just the tip of them. You're not going to want to actually put very much into the belly of the brush because it's just gonna wreck them. Um, like I said, those particular brushes are made for watercolor. It's really funny to me that we actually use them at all for painting miniatures, but yeah, they're nice and a lot of people swear by them. They do keep a really nice point, but they only keep that point if you're keeping really good care of them. True fact on the cost of the hobby, the only reason I've gotten into some of the games I have is because I work for a company that buys and sells used minis, right? Like, used is the only way I can really do it. Is because they have big bellies. Who doesn't love a big belly? Buying models for half of retail is a hell of a boost to the hobby. Yeah. It's seriously the only way that I've been able to start Night Haunt um is used models. Yes, and custodies.
Almost none of that was new.
Yeah, I think all of that stuff was used. Oh no, I did.
I think
I
yeah,
built,
I think
yeah.
it was one. Just
I
because you
built one
needed
box of
more of
cards.
something.
Yeah.
But that was it.
Yeah, I needed more sword and board dudes that didn't have their swords sticking straight up into the air. Whoever built that box did not understand how terrain worked or line of sight. Oh, we have almost finished a leg. Yo, we did it! We finished a leg. I actually really like it. I think it looks pretty close to Ragnar Blackmane. I think the blending looks pretty good. I didn't blend as well on this side, but I'm not too worried about it. Compared to where we started, I think you can definitely see where we're going. My entire Lizardman army is secondhand, and all of the Sisters of Battle I'm going to be collecting for Index Hammer will be as well. Vast majority of my Death Guard is secondhand. My Spaceals aren't because I had big aspirations that I'm not fully realizing. Sometimes you just gotta like take a step back and like look at your handiwork, right? Hey, dual charge minis, how's it going? I wish that I could allow you to post links because dual charge minis has amazing miniature. Okay. No skipping leg day here. Never. Hope you're feeling better, dude. Feeling mostly better. I still have like the dregs of the cold, which is why I sound funny. I've had like 5 days of like just existing on like lemon and honey water. Which I could probably use a warm top up. Okay, I'm gonna do his like little groin plate thingy here, and then I hear the stirrings of the dog, so I have a feeling somebody's gonna need to go for a walk soon. So we'll do this little plate here. I don't know why, but like when I paint with a small brush, I just imagine it tickles the miniature, and I just imagine them giggling. That tickles. Oh, I spoke too soon. I spoke too soon. He came, he went. Lingering, add some whiskey too, maybe. Oh man, I can't drink whiskey. I can't do it. It's just like, oh, bad memories. Okay, let's add edge highlights in here. So what I've actually been doing is I've been using a little bit of that bright neutral gray in just a tiny bit in to edge highlight the edges that are mostly the field blue. And then kind of like using just the field gray, field blue, whatever, on the darker areas. And I think that's the secret sauce. My mom is all about that whiskey. Even went on a trip to Scotland just so we can enjoy the Scotch distilleries. That's awesome. Blending on the shin looks awesome. Oh, thanks. Yeah, so this Dreadnought is a bit of an experiment to see if I can sort of refine this a little bit, skip some steps. Because I glazed on my Ragnar Black. I mean, this is like a new color scheme. I don't know how long you've been in the chat, but we just talked about like my old paint scheme, how it was like the the weird like baby blue um that GW's had forever, and then how I just didn't want to do that color anymore. So also I don't play this army. This is like my favorite faction for lore. Like I just love the Space Wolves, but they don't vibe with my personal playstyle. Um, so I'm just like collecting and painting what I want and not worrying too much about like ever playing anything. So I guess in a way this is like kind of gonna be one of my try-hard armies, like when it comes to painting, because I'm never gonna be under a deadline. But at the same time, I still want to get stuff done. That Ragnar took forever for me to finish. So. Oh, it's that time. It's that time. Hey, Bubba. I'm gonna have to get a Lucas the Trickster because I have a Lucas the Trickster. I need the mini. Hi, Bubba. You just gonna show everybody your bum? Okay, come here. Hi. Oh, whoa, Bubba. Come and kiss. Mwah. He's so cute. I would love to do that. I'm surrounded by amazing beer. Also, I'm surrounded by amazing beer. Even a few good distilleries, but I'd love to go back to the old country and get the good stuff from the source. Repainting? No, not repainting the whole army. All the stuff that I painted before is staying. So this is the old stuff. So they're just gonna stay as like an exhibit of where I started. And then this is the new scheme. So now when I add stuff, it's all gonna be like this color. So that's the idea anyway. So I don't even like I maybe I have 1,000 points. Like I might is that 1,500 points of Space Wolves? Probably. Of my old scheme. So they're just gonna stay. They're just gonna chill. And yeah, so everything else is gonna be this kind of color. I've got two models. I've got a 30k model and I've got Ragnar. So I've got these two so far. And then look at how little he is. It's so little. And yeah, so everything that I'm gonna do from here on out will be this color. Um, I'm hobby first and play second. I'm equal parts play and hobby, but this is like my project that is just all hobby. So when I feel like painting something, I will just paint it. Getting into playing games using them now. Crazy in-depth rules. Yeah, GW rules are insane. Like, just literally insane. Ragnar is stunning. Aw, thank you. Alright, well, I'm gonna take my dog for a walk. We are approximately 20 minutes over schedule anyway. And my voice is gonna die soon. I can just sort of like feel it in here. So what I'm gonna do off stream is I'm gonna finish all of the armor panels. Because you've seen kind of like what that process looks like. So I'm going to finish all of the armor panels and then we can decide what we want to do on stream next week. Whether that be like freehand heraldry. Yeah, maybe we'll do some freehand heraldry. You can watch me struggle with it because I've never really done it before. Um, so I'll have to like find a really good picture of Ragnar's heraldry. I know it's red and white for the most part, so we don't have to fight too much with yellow on stream, so that'll be good. Yeah, maybe that's what we'll do next week. So same bat time, same bat channel. Um, what else do I have this week? This week, I'm gonna do. I have had somebody specifically ask me to do a rules video about disembarking from a destroyed transport because it is different, and actually a lot of people seem to think it's one way when it's not. So Wednesday, I'm gonna make that video and release it, and then Friday, we are back with like regularly just propane on it, as far as I know. Um, and then that's it. New episode of Forged Narrative on Saturday, like always. Um Past Tanya, I'll never have a deadline with these guys. Present Tanya, I'll finish all the panels. Future Tanya, the fuck? I mean, 7 days to finish all of those panels. Like, it's not gonna take me 7 days. It might take me a day to finish all those. Plus, I'm having fun with it, so it won't take that long. And then that's it. That's my plan for the week. And I am potentially working on something fun in the background that potentially might be starting in the summertime. So, that is potentially fun. Okay. I wish that this was okay. Okay. Somebody needs to go outside. Hi, Lucas, the trickster. Hi, buddy. Okay, I wish that this was Twitch and I could just like throw it back, like just send you off on a raid to somebody else, but I can't. Um, but yeah, that's it for me. If you want to get in touch with me, the best place is the Patreon Discord. I have notifications turned off for pretty much everything else. So if you need to get in touch with me quickly, that's the best way. Also, it's just full of the raddest people that you've ever met in your life. So, Patreon Discord's where it's at. I love you all. I hope that you have a wonderful week. Take care of yourselves. And until next time, be nice and roll dice. Bye, everybody.